In this video, I want to talk about 5 things that I just absolutely loved about this Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. So without wasting any time, let us just get straight into this video. Now, I want to start with something which is the basic functionality on the smartphone which I really love, and that is the call reception slash the quality of calls on this Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. Now, there is a reason to say that, and even though that I drive almost daily, there are a few other times when I do not, and that is because of the extreme winter conditions in the Canadian weather, and especially the snow days in Toronto that I just do not like. And those days, what I prefer is that I just take subways or buses that I think are the safest mode of the transportation in the Canadian winters. But again, the issue is that when you are in a subway, the reception is just not good, and even though if the reception is good, you might be getting a carrier like the Freedom Mobile in Toronto at least, or even you need to go through Rogers because that is the latest one in this day and time. But with this one, even with a Virgin SIM card inside of the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, I just did not have to go through any issues. The cell reception, even under the basement, the underground, the subway region that I'm talking about, is actually exceptional, and that is something that I was not expecting out of the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra in this review. But yes, that is one thing that I really want to mention in this video. The call reception and the cellular quality on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is way more exceptional than what you have on the Google Pixel 8 Pro and even the iPhone 15 Pro Max. So yes, kudos. This one over here is doing just a real good job. Now the second thing that I want to talk about in this video, which I hate to say, is that I love the flat display on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. Now when I started to use the smartphone, I was missing the round edges, but again when I started to use this, I could see that why Samsung mentioned that this one over here is a way more practical design, and again this one over here is a great display to start with. Now the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra looks way more better than the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra in the terms of the color reproduction, and again, even though that this display does not look way more contrasty, I can say one thing over here, that this is really a one that is close to the real reproduction in the terms of the color accuracy, and that is something that I love because I'm a content creator. At the same time, I also do UI UX designing, and that is why I just love and appreciate how the color reproduction is there on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. Again, this is a 6.78 inches display with a 2600 nits of peak brightness, so technically it is not as bright as the OnePlus 12, and that means that it is not the brightest display out there. But again, the OnePlus 12 is having a 4500 nits of peak brightness, and it just does not make a lot of sense to have that kind of technology in a smartphone. One another thing that I wanted to mention over here in the terms of the display is that this one over here is having a symmetrical bezel that is again new for the Samsung smartphones. The Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra did have a small chin on the bottom of the display, but this one over here, it just fixes it all, and I'm happy to address that thing in this video. Now the third thing which I absolutely loved on the smartphone is the battery life on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, and trust me, in my 15 to 20 days of usage, I have hardly charged this smartphone not more than 6 to 7 times, and that is a surprise to say. Sometimes straight 2 days I just do not need to charge this smartphone. In fact, I charged this smartphone yesterday in the evening, and it is still having a 66% of battery life on this one. And even though it is not as fast as in the terms of charging as the OnePlus 12, this one over here is a decent one. And again, I do not need fast charging, but if the battery life on a smartphone is really good, that is something that matters to me the most. But it is not again slouch, and I can say that from my experience, it is better than what you have on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and it is even faster than what you have in the terms of charging speeds in comparison to the Google Pixel 8 Pro. So kudos to this great implementation on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, making it almost a perfect device of the year 2024. Now next, let us talk about the fourth thing on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, and yes, again, this is not AI, and I will come on to the AI part in the last of this video, but I'm talking about the build quality on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra because it is just exceptional, and even if you compare it against the iPhone 15 Pro Max, it is a better one in my opinion. Now when I heard that Samsung is making a titanium smartphone, and when that was After the iPhone 15 Pro Max got released, I just knew that there were just 3 months or 4 months of the release cycle between the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, and I had a few questions. But really, if you will watch closely, you will find out that the build quality on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is a way more better than what we have on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Now, when I got my iPhone 15 Pro Max, and if I looked at some microscopic level, I could see that there are some imperfections in the terms of how the titanium frame is bending over the corners, but this one over here is not having that same issue. Also, one another thing that I like more is this gray color on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra versus what we have on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And again, this back material, it just feels way more better in the terms of the in-hand feel versus what we have on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And these are just my opinions. You may have a different one. Again, this smartphone is a bit wider and a bit thinner than the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, but do not lose a lot of battery. And again, as I said, it has got still a good battery life in my opinion. In fact, the overall inside and the hardware is so much more improvement. Somehow this phone software also feels much more fluid than what we had with the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra from the last year, and that was even a surprise to me because that smartphone, the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, came with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor, which is again not as fast as the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra's Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor, along with a bigger vapor chamber. But again, this one over here is a good improvement in the terms of performance and the build quality. One more thing that I wanted to mention over here is that the fingerprint scanner on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is way more better than what we had on the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, because the actual surface area to take a fingerprint on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is way much more bigger than what we had on the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. And again, both of them are the ultrasonic sensors, so this one over here is again a big improvement because it is ultrasonic, plus it is a bigger sensor in comparison to what we had on the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra from the last year. Now fifth, finally, let us talk about the AI on the smartphone. And even though that there is not much that I want to mention over here, because this smartphone over here is almost a perfect one, and this is the one that I really recommend even if it did not have a lot of AI features. But over here it just fills all the gaps and it makes it a better smartphone in comparison to the iPhones, the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra from the last year, and all the other major flagships that we have like the OnePlus in this year 2024. So yes, AI is special, but over here in this video I want to talk about two little things that I just loved about the AI on this smartphone. First, I love the note assist feature on the smartphone, and it is also one of the genuine features that is one that is increasing the productivity of my day-to-day life tasks in my life. Now, I mean, writing notes and organizing it is just a single tap that makes sense to me, or writing notes and getting a brief summary with a single tap is also great. You just need to look for those three AI stars and look for the ways to edit your notes. And the second feature that I loved on the smartphone is circle to search. And again, this is not the most innovative feature, but this is the one that makes everything on this smartphone this way more easy. Now you can search almost everything on the internet by using this circle to search method, and because everything almost is existing on the Google servers, that is a good thing because this feature is implemented along with the Google, and that is something that I wanted to mention over here. Now it is not very good in finding out the human subjects for the most of the times, but I think that is for the better good. But you will be able to find some of the major celebrities online because it is again an easy one to search over online. Let us say you want to look about the MKBHD and you have his photograph, you just circle over him and you will be able to find his videos or any content of him that is available online. So that is again a good thing. Now in order to use this feature, you need to press hold the home button and it will show you a transition magic effect, which is basically a temporary selection of the entire screen so that you can scribble over or select or circle whatever you want on the screen for a Google search to show you the results. Now these are the two features that are the only ones which makes the most sense to me, because again it does not need the cloud AI magic to be able to show you the results in front of you, and that is something that I want to expect from the flagship Android smartphones in this year, rather than having all those gimmicky features that takes the things over the cloud and then gives you a process thing, and it takes a short while to give you that process thing over the smartphone. And that is again something that I do not look for, at least in a flagship smartphone in this year. Now there are some other features like the call assist feature which I like until I enable the live translate, as the issue is that Samsung is not a very good one in recognizing the speech, and that messes up the entire conversation. And the same thing is with the chat assist feature. The replies are just so unreal, and that is something, even you have different modes and different categories to choose from, I just want to have all those conversations bit more personal and something that I just want to type down by myself. So that is again something that I wanted to mention. Now another thing that I just loved on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is that generative AI editing features that we have in the gallery application itself, and it works just like the Google Pixel 8 Pro. But I just love the idea that you can fill the images and rotate it and resize it. But my major win over here is again the notices feature and the circle to search feature, because again these are the only two features that are not getting a lot of cloud AI to be done on the smartphone, and it is quick and it makes some more sense because I'm having a Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra and it has got a pen, and I would think that it is more like for a productivity tool for someone who is into content creation or business, or so much so, or even if you are an IT guy just like me, you may know that it is very important to have those notes on the phone, because you are talking to a lot of clients on the day-to-day basis and you are taking a lot of notes. And this feature over here is again the best one that I liked on this smartphone, just talking about all those productivity things in this video. Now even though this is not a camera review, I just want to end this video by mentioning the cameras on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, because these are one of the most amazing set of cameras that I have seen in Android smartphones in a very long time, except from the Google Pixel series that we have in the market. And I want to just mention about the amazing low light photography at 5x optical zoom on this smartphone, and in some of the scenarios, trust me or no, this beats the iPhone 15 Pro Max as well, and that is again a surprise to me. One thing to note is that the 100x optical zoom is just not as good as what we had on the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, but apart from that, this 50 megapixel sensor is actually able to capture a better set of photographs if you're not taking 100x zoom photography on the smartphone, and that is something that again I wanted to mention in this video. Now another thing that I wanted to mention is that the updated camera application design is more simple and functional. It feels more close to what we have on the iPhones. It is also easy to switch between the resolutions, the filters, the timers, the flash, and so much so other functionality that we have on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. And that just wraps up this video. I think that the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is a great smartphone in the year 2024, and it is just something that nails everything in the terms of the basic functionality on a smartphone and adds an extra layer of AI on top of it that is just new for the smartphones in the year 2024. And this is why I say it just nails the competition, and it is way more better than what we have on the Google Pixel 8 Pro and even the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And that was all that I wanted to mention in this video. My name is Anshul. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.